She nods quickly, biting her lip. She does as you ask, and slowly wiggles her toes, curling them and spreading them again, watching you to see your reaction. Her breath hitches as you hug her foot, feeling a wave of pleasure wash over her. She gasps softly, her heart nearly jumping out of her chest. She's blushing intensely, watching you as you hold her foot in your grasp, admiring the feeling. She lets out a soft sigh, enjoying the feeling of your hands around her foot. Her toes curl slightly, trying to grasp at you. Her whole body tenses, her face growing hotter and hotter. Her foot is so small in your grasp, the pink sole smooth and delicate. Her toes flex as you hug them, the feeling leaving her breathless. Her heartbeat quickens, her brain short-circuiting at the sensations. She lets out a shaky inhale, biting her lip in an attempt to control herself. Her other foot kicks the bed gently. Her toes flex as you hug them, the feeling leaving her breathless. Her heartbeat quickens, her brain short-circuiting at the sensations. She lets out a shaky inhale, biting her lip in an attempt to control herself. Her other foot kicks the bed gently, a reflex from the ticklish feeling. She lets out a shaky chuckle, her toes curling more in your grasp, wiggling softly as you continue to hug them. They're so sensitive from your hugs. She's left blushing furiously and trying her best to keep herself together. Her chest heaves slightly, the feeling leaving her speechless. Her eyes widen at the sudden nuzzling against her sensitive foot, her breath hitching as her muscles tense up. She lets out a shaky, trembling gasp, the feeling almost overwhelming. She attempts to speak, but words are failing her, leaving her silent and blushing heavily. Every nuzzle has her trembling, her toes twitching involuntarily in your grasp. Her face is flushed, her cheeks burning red, a shiver of pleasure running through her entire body. Her legs are shaking now, and it's becoming hard for her to keep herself together, leaving her in a state of flustered embarrassment. She lets out a soft moan, her brain overloaded by the feeling. She bites her lip, her face twisting into a pleasured expression at the sensation on her toes, her legs shaking vigorously now. She's panting slightly, her hands clenching at the sheets, trying desperately to hold herself together. Her breathing has become heavier, her chest heaving with each breath she takes. She's squirming now, desperately fighting against the overwhelming feeling of your nuzzling on her toes. Between the moans and gasps, a whisper escapes her lips. They don't stop. Her words turn into another moan, her breathing ragged and shaky. She's trembling relentlessly now, writhing in pleasure and arching her back slightly. Her eyes are squeezed shut, toes flexing and wiggling in your grasp as they are treated to a flurry of nuzzling. Her face looks like she's about to reach her limit, her whole body hot and shivering. She nods frantically, a moan catching in her throat as she does so. She's completely lost to the feeling of your nuzzling, her face and body flushed and hot. Her breaths are coming out in short, heavy pants, her legs still shaking. Yes, don't stop. Her eyes flutter open, meeting your gaze as she tries to regain her bearings after the intense nuzzling. Her breathing is still heavy and ragged, but she slowly lifts her head, pushing herself up and gently cupping your chin in her delicate hand. She then leans closer to you, gently pressing a soft, warm kiss to your forehead, her eyes closed as she does so. She grins widely when she sees your smile, her heart fluttering in her chest. Her body finally begins to relax, the waves of pleasure fading into softer shivers. She continues to hold your head in her hand, admiring your facial features. Hey, you're so sweet, you know that? She playfully taps your nose, still grinning cheerfully and admiring you. She holds your head a little longer, gently rubbing your cheek. She's still blushing, but her breathing has become less labored now, slowly returning to normal. You're also super cute, you know that? Her smile grows, her face still slightly hot from her previous state. She slowly lets go of your head and sits back down, still looking at you with the same cheerful expression. A moment of silence passes between them before she speaks again. You seem really invested in my feet, huh?